I was booked into the Klingenstein Pavilion of the Mount Sinai Hospital when it was first opened. It was brand new. And I had given birth to a child before who was Richard.
Behind the camera.
He's the one with the TV camera over here.
George Washington Hospital. And I was treated like a peasant, as was everybody else who was giving birth. That's a whole different story, but that was absolutely ghastly. Not my giving birth to Richard, but the conditions. My giving birth to Richard was wonderful. However, I made up my mind that I would not allow the conditions and the way I was treated to be duplicated, and I suddenly realized in a brand new hospital I had a whole new opportunity. So as I checked into the hospital, I said to them with total mendacity, "This is a wonderful opportunity for me, as you know," I said. "I'm a reporter for the New York Times." And when my editor learned that I was pregnant, he asked me whether I would volunteer to sort of report on the conditions of this brand new pavilion, of which I was one of the first 5 or 10 patients. And I said that reluctantly, well, okay, I would do it. And I said to the hospital, so
Here I am.
here I am.
That's a run.
And they said, "Oh, we are so glad to have you." And they immediately put me in a room, which was a beautiful, lovely room. But within 5 minutes of my getting there, they had put up 8 or 10 rather valuable paintings on the wall so that I should feel at home.
One of which
Rembrandt, Rubens.
And they had people running in and out.
That's
And I kept on saying, everybody came in and out, "Oh, my editor is going to be interested in this."
And they're still looking for the story.
He kept on saying to me, "Be sure to get this, and when is this story going to go out, going to appear?" And as a person who was always at the other end of the thing, that is, a supplicant, I would say, well, you know, it's entirely up to the desk, but I'm pushing this. I'm really, and this is wonderful. And so I was never left alone for a second.
They probably would have given you a substitute child if you had a problem.
Exactly.
Maybe I am a
Maybe
substitute
take
child.
out your own.
If it wasn't for your looks, we would
Right,
always have that
despite the
question.
similarity.
That is marvelous.
Did you have difficult labor?
No. As a matter of fact,
This story I've heard.
I
Thank you.
got taken to the hospital with intense labor pain. One of the last things I remember was being wheeled in the hospital and somebody saying, "Where is," I forget the name of the doctor who was out to lunch. I mean, literally out having lunch. And there's a little sort of kicker to this story, which I think is interesting. About 5 years or 6 or 7 years later, I, quite having nothing to do with any of this, ran into a young woman who used to be a camper of mine at the camp that I was counseling.
Which camp?
Racket Lake. Didn't everybody go there?
Right.
And I ran into her. She was a tennis player. I was a tennis counselor. We got together. We played tennis. I went back to her house after tennis. And she was telling me she was married to an obstetrician. I said, "Oh, it's a wonderful thing. Where does he practice?" I said. And he said, "Klingenstein." I said, "Oh, isn't that funny? My daughter was born in Klingenstein." And I told her the story about the last thing I remember is, "Where is Dr. So-and-so?" And she said, "And then what happened?" I said, and then they said, "Well, Dr. Sherman, the resident, is here," and that's all I remember. And she said, "That's my married name, and my husband is an obstetrician."
That's funny.
And he delivered
really
your
funny.
baby.
That is really funny.
And
That's great.
That really is funny.
And he is now one of your epically high-priced obstetrician, so you were delivered by a good person?